item? Standard cost profile.
Standard cost.
This is item level. Okay. Now you have to put every item here. Is there any ADFDA process is available? Let me check. If I click on the advanced button.
So if we have a standard cost at the org level, and for one of the items which is already in the org, can you overwrite that and have a average cost using the item?
Once item cost profile is assigned, it's not possible to override.
Okay.
It's not possible to override. And there are no precedences also. Sir, I'm going to configure all these three, which will take the preference or precedence. Why you configure all the three? First, I have a question to you people. Why you're configuring all the three? You decide, right? It's not a play game, right?
Right.
It's not a play game. Let it take system whatever it wants. It's not a play game. You decide. The business is going to decide initially itself how they want to follow the cost method. They want to follow at item level, category level, or org level. They won't take a simple, silly or stupid decisions like whichever it will take. Let it take. I configure all the three. Okay. There should be some meaning when you're doing something. So this is decided before the project start itself. At what level you wanted to go with the cost method. Okay. From item to item also it's possible, as I mentioned. For one item, you can assign the standard cost profile. For another item, you can assign average cost profile. Okay. And category level and org level. So for this, only one screen. For item level, Oracle provided a different screen. Okay. But here, one of the tedious process is every item you have to put it here. Every item you have to put it here. Okay. And it seems to be there is no ADFDA also. No ADFDA here, no button. Download into spreadsheet, no button is here. Let me check whether any FBDA template is available or not. Oracle Fusion SCM FBDA templates 23A. I'm checking any FBDA process is available to upload. If not, if you go with that solution, you will be in trouble. You have to manually do it. I think no. Standard cost, only one FBDA template is there. This is to load the item cost. It seems to be no. No. Under inventory, for the costing, only one FBDA template is there. That means if you go with this item level approach, you have to do it one by one, every item. Or we need to check with Oracle, is there any other way? Okay. So this is the 10th setup. Sorry, 11th setup. Item level cost profile. When you want to control the cost method at item level, you do this configuration. We are not doing this configuration. Why we are not doing this configuration? Because we are following the cost profile or cost method at which level? Cost org level. Okay, that's why I'm not doing the 11th setup. So these 10 setups I completed. If you have any questions in these 10 configurations, I will explain. Now today, let me recap what I've done. I know regarding the overhead expense pools, you won't get better clarity now. I know that, but you'll get a good clarity when loading the item cost. So we created expense pools. This is nothing but a grouping of different overheads into different buckets. Okay, nothing but you have additional overheads like gas charges, electric charges, or bolt and nut charges, bolt and nut charges. All these overheads you want to group under one expense pool. One expense pool, like miscellaneous overheads. So when you are creating a cost, when you're creating a cost, so against electricity, you can select the miscellaneous expense pool. Against gas also, you can select a miscellaneous expense pool. So this is applicable for the overheads. This is to pool the overheads into one group. Okay. Now cost component mapping group. What we have done here, we mapped. So we mapped the predefined cost elements with our cost elements. Okay. What are the predefined cost elements? Item price, freight, non-recoverable tax. These three predefined cost elements are created under which reference data set? These three predefined are created under which reference data set in the application? Common. And we created our cost elements under our reference data, and we have to map both of them. When you say item price, it has to be mapped with which of your element?
Material cost.
Material.
Which of your element? That mapping has to be done in the cost mapping, cost component mapping. And then you know what is cost profile, right? In the cost profile, we are associating the cost method. We are associating the cost method, not only cost method, we are assigning the valuation structure also, and we are assigning the cost component group also. We are assigning. And after that, we created valuation unit. We created valuation unit, and in the valuation structure, we are not mentioned which cost org and which inventory organization, that we are mentioning in the valuation unit. Okay. Now cost profile, the default cost profile. So you want to assign automatically this cost profile to org, or you want to assign to the category, this cost profile. If you assign to the category, that's a category level cost profile, nothing but category level cost method. Or else org level cost profile, nothing but org level cost method. Okay. Clear with the 10 configurations. So don't take light this module. I mean, this module nobody knows mostly in the market, like supply chain consultants, most of them, they don't know this module. So if you know this module, when you compare with them, this is the additional skill set that you have. Because in the interview, always the comparison is going to happen. So if two profiles are shortlisted, they will decide which has to be picked up. They will decide it's based on the skill set and based on the package also. Regarding these two, they do the comparison. What is the package of these two candidates and what is the skill set of these two candidates? Who knows more? That comparison will play a role to get the jobs also. Okay. So now I'll take your questions, please wait. Now we are done with the configurations. Now what next step is like we have to define the cost. Nothing but you can manually create the cost, or you can upload the cost using ADFDI. ADFDI is there. It's very good feature. Upload using ADFDI. Okay. After the cost got loaded, you transfer all the transactions to the costing module. You transfer to costing. So once every transaction is in the costing module, then we run a program called create cost accounting distributions, and then create receipt accounting distributions. These two programs will run. So if you run this program is going to process all the PO receipts. This program is going to process all the PO receipts, and except PO receipts, this program is going to process like inventory transactions and other models related manufacturing transactions. So cost accounting is nothing but this will process except receipt accounting. It will process other transactions, but receipt accounting is processed by this program. Once after completion of this program, you can see the debit side and credit side of the accounts. Debit side and credit side of the account. Against which transaction, what is the debit entry and what is the credit entry? Okay. And finally, we run the create accounting in the So once all these transactions are costed in the costing module, we run the create accounting in the final mode. Final mode is nothing but we are posting all these transactions to the ledger. Okay. This we will see in the next class. So once this is completed, finally, I will show you the period close process. I will explain the period close process finally. So this is the next class explanations. Okay. So coming to the debit side and credit side of the accounting entries, I've given the file here. I'll show you. So here, this is period close document. And for the entries, cost accounting distributions, this one. Okay. Now in this sheet, if you go to the receipt accounting, let's take an example. So, okay, let's take costing only. Okay. If I go to costing, you please filter by the one category. That's enough because I've given the debit side and credit side for multiple categories, but not required. Just filter by one category. Create new filter view. So here a couple of categories are there. You pick up any category. This is created for my project. The same I have added here. Just I'm selecting this category. Okay. Now here you can see, in case of move issue, what will happen? Your inventory will go out, right? Correct. Inventory valuation is credit side. Okay. And what is the inventory valuation account? See, we mapped here. So when you perform move issue, so your inventory is deducted because your stock is going out. Suppose $20 stock is going out, $20 stock. That $20 stock value should be deducted from this account, right? So earlier, let us take this account having $1,000. Now, once you issue out of $20, now this account should display how much? If you open this account, it should display $980.
$980.
Okay. This is for the mode issue. In case of cycle count adjustments also, we have seen cycle count and physical inventory adjustments, right? Because of this adjustment, what is happening? Your on hand getting increased sometime and your on hand getting decreased sometime. Correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes,
So the adjustments, it could be plus or minus. Okay. If it is plus, your inventory valuation is which side? Debit side. Debit means what comes in. Plus, debit means plus. Credit means what goes out, minus. So if your adjustment is a positive adjustment, it goes to inventory valuation account. That means inventory valuation get increased. If it is a negative adjustment, your inventory valuation get decreased. Okay. So in case of sub-inventory transfer, what is the accounting? In case of move order transfer, what is the accounting? So I have given the accounting for manufacturing also. This is for the manufacturing. In case of work order material issue, when you are issuing material to your work order, when you are, suppose you issued 100 quantity, but during that manufacturing process, they consumed only 80. That 20 you can return. You can issue the material, remaining material you can return to your normal warehouse. That's material return. Okay. So for that also, I've given the entries here. And for the receipt accounting, this is in case of PO receipt. Again, this is in case of PO receipt. When you receive a PO, what will happen? Your receiving inspection account is debit side. Your accrual account is credit side. And when you return the stock to the supplier, your receiving inspection account is the credit side. Your accrual account is the debit side. And in case of IPV, invoice price adjustment, if there is a difference, IPV, it goes to this account, invoice price adjustment and receiving inspection account. So here also, I think category is there. That's why the same account got duplicated multiple times. I think I have hidden it. Just expand that and just filter by just one category. Create new filter. Category level we kept here. Just change it to one category so that you can see in case when you receive the stock, when you return the stock to the supplier, and in case of IP. So this we'll see in the application. It's not possible to show every type, but whatever the transaction that we performed against all those transactions, we will see which is the debit side and which is the credit side. Okay. Now we completed the configurations, correct? We completed configurations. Now I'm stopping the recording. Now I'll show you configurations from my client instance. Okay. I'm pausing the recording. Okay, good with the configurations. You got some boosters, some confidence.
Yep.
Okay. Costing is simple module. Okay. Don't take it as optional. If you just spend 10 hours, you learn this module. That's it. Just spend some 10 hours. Small module. You can add into your profile. Okay. If any questions, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Practice doubts, I'll take at the end. Practice doubts.
Krishna, in regards to the question is regards to the buy item. Okay. For the buy item, as you said, like the category will be the purchasing category, and I mean, if you think of purchasing price, we generally get it from the supplier, right? Like when you are buying it, you get the price from supplier either through requisition or through BPA or things like that. So how is that translated? Like once the good is in our inventory or in the warehouse, how is that item translated to a manufacturing item for manufacturing some other finished good? And how is the costing enabled on such buy items?
It depends upon the item properties. Okay. When you are creating an item, what properties that you are enabling the item. Okay. So if you select purchasing, we are applying a template directly. Okay. From the template, we are copying the item attributes.
Correct.
So for purchased item, we are applying purchased item template because by default, purchased item template containing the purchasing related attributes enabled. An example, purchasable is by default enabled in the template. Okay.
Correct.
If you apply finished good template, it's gonna have the work in process. Work in process attribute is set to yes. If work in process set to yes, that means you can make that item. That means you can create a work order against that item.
Item. Okay.
Yeah. Item attributes are going to derive the item behavior in the application. Based on the item attributes, you're able to perform transactions against that item. Suppose an example, invoice you set to no. You're not allowed to create an invoice against that item. If you try to do it, it will not work.
Right.
It will not show up that item in the invoice creation screen itself. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Partly, probably it's by
Okay,
understanding gap.
Okay.
So like, I mean, a part of it I understood, like based on the purchasing, the item attributes, it is there, but I didn't understand the costing side of it.
See, costing, see, after the item is created, automatically the respective cost profile get assigned. Okay.
Correct.
And automatically behind the scene, all these calculations are going to happen. Okay. When you run this program, go ahead. I think you want to continue your question. Go ahead.
Right. So no, so the item is in our thing. So we purchased it for an X amount, correct?
Okay.
For an X amount based on the supplier price.
Okay.
So on the top of it, like now this item, we are going to sell it or we are going to use it to manufacture some other item.
Okay.
So on top of it, we have to do the costing, right? For a sales order. So do we use the same item for creating a sales order? Let's say if the same
We
item
use
is
the
being
same
sold,
item only. We use the same
Okay.
item only.
but okay,
But
at the sales order level, the
at the
costing
sales
is
order level,
applied.
you don't use your cost, because the cost is
Right.
nothing but that is cost of your company.
Company.
So you don't sell
Correct.
your product to the cost of the company. You add some profit, right?
Uh-huh.
Suppose your cost of the item is $20. So you might sell for $25 or $30. That's called as a selling price. Selling price we define in the pricing module. Cost is different,
Correct.
selling price is different. Okay, to the selling price, we add the profit. The selling price is displayed in the sales order, not the
Sales
cost.
order. Okay.
This question I answered yesterday. Someone asked me, George at the ending, he asked me this question. I think you're not there at the end, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
So, while creating...
1 second, madam. Suchita. Karthik, you're done? Karthik P.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking through, like I'm trying to run the process in my mind. So I'm having this very basic questions, but yeah,
No
go
problem.
ahead.
No, bro, it's simple. Okay. You're talking about sales order. Correct?
Yeah.
So
right.
even though here two cases are there, one is, let's take buy item. You are buying for $20.
Mhm.
Will you sell the same price to your customer also for $20? No, you didn't.
No.
So you had some profit. Okay. So the sales order price is nothing but selling price. That selling price you manually create in the pricing module. There is a separate module called pricing. In that you go there and you enter that item and you enter the selling price there. You purchase
Right.
it for $20, you enter 25. That 25 will be displayed in your sales order.
Correct.
Okay, that is one
Correct.
thing. Other thing is, yeah, good.
Sorry,
In case of make item. In case
No,
of make item, yeah.
Yeah, regarding the buy item first.
Mm.
So that item, right? See, now we received, we talked about the receiving, create receipt accounting distributions and
Okay.
that, right?
Okay.
So we have overheads even for a purchasing item, right?
Yes.
Like a buy item. So that costing should happen.
Yes, including that, it will display.
So that costing.
Sonam, we are done with the class. If you want, you can leave. Others can leave. Okay. We are done with the session. I'm just taking the questions. Sonam, you can leave. No problem. Okay, good. Yeah, we include everything. Yeah, we have to include everything, right? If you ignore
Right.
the overheads and all, you'll be in loss.
Right. No, right. So there should be some kind of a link for users or like an auto-generated sale price, right? Like you cannot enter manually all the sale prices in the pricing module, right? Like the cost, based on the cost, they'll probably add some price or like 10 or 20%, like based on whatever
I did many
the product
implementations.
is.
I did many implementations so far. I think most of you also did many implementations. You should not think like it's a pain to add the selling price for every item. No company or no client or no business user has think like it's a pain. They should do it. Everything cannot be automated in the application. They should do it. Of course, your requirement can be possible, but in any of my implementation, automatically generating the selling price, I have never did. And I'm sure you also might have not done it. Anyone have you did that?
I've loaded price lists,
Okay.
but
we in every project, we load the price list. We have to load. Okay. We load and also we have to load and we have to update every year. Every year also. Every year we increment the selling price to 5%, 10%, 10%.
Right.
Like if you see this example, when you're buying a car, you see this announcement like by March or by January, the car price get increased. Please book in December itself. Okay. Every year, every company is going to increase the selling price to 5% or 10%.
Right.
We need to again update that price also in the price list. It should not be a pain. That's a process has to be followed.
Yeah. Yeah, probably I think my next question you will probably cover it in the tomorrow's session. So I'll wait for tomorrow because we still have to load the costs and all, right? So we'll probably, my doubts will be cleared then. But thank you so much. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing the costing module.
Everybody is saying first time.
No, because like in
I
our
know,
current project also, like, yeah.